So what is LGBT?
Lesbian, bisexual, gay, or transgendered?
Lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgendered.
Gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender.
Lesbian, gay, transgender, LGBT, and bisexual?
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual.
LGBT is the lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual alliance.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's designed to promote and bring attention to issues of equality for those 4 groups.
It's a group for lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgenders.
Should same-sex marriage be federally legalized?
Absolutely. I personally, on a political level, don't believe marriage should be governed by the state, but absolutely. 2 people who are in love should be able to get married.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think everybody should get married. If 2 out of 3 marriages end in divorce, then why shouldn't we just let everybody get married and be happy or miserable with the rest of everybody else that's straight? What's the difference? Marriage is love is love kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think so. I don't think it affects anyone else's right to freedom, so I think those people to freedoms as well.
I think it should be allowed everywhere.
Why do you think people use the word gay as a derogatory term?
Ignorance, definitely. Years of stupidity and misinformation and ignorance, definitely.
Years of influence from religions and just cultural influence have kind of caused it to be looked on as a derogatory thing or lifestyle. So that's why people use it that way, but it's obviously ignorance.
I think they use it just because people aren't really used to people coming out as gay and people like accepting that. So I think that some people don't even know when they're using it. People just use it and they just go along with what everyone else thinks and says. So
I think people are just either ignorant or afraid or don't understand that it can hurt someone else's feelings because it's something we just say so commonly that, and even me, like I consider myself like an activist for the gay community, and sometimes I even slip and say something like that without even realizing that it's hurtful just because it's just part of most every day that we do, and it's in our music and it's in our culture. So I think people just don't think, and then people who do say it on purpose in a really mean way, I think are just maybe not educated enough on the whole culture of what it means to be gay.
People just like to put other people down to like boost their self-confidence, so I guess gay is something to boost your sexuality, I guess.
Yeah, and like with social media, it's just kind of like blew up and people use it way too much now.
Yeah.
It's just part of American culture. It's just been gay is associated with lesser. It's kind of a simile for stupid. So I just think it's kind of out of ignorance.
I honestly don't know. I just think it's one of those things that starts as a fad over time and it's just become a part of our society when it's really unnecessary.
I think it was something that's different about people, so it's sometimes people get uncomfortable when someone is different from everybody else, so they just kind of use it as a term to kind of single you out from another group. Yeah, I agree. And then in terms of what society's norm is, I think that's another way that they try to do that, and also just not being educated. I think that's also a term that, I think education helps get rid of those terms.
Because being gay is not normal.
Do you think one's sexual orientation is chosen?
No, I don't.
I think that your sexual orientation comes from like the environment. I think that you kind of grow up in, but I don't think that you can choose either or. I think it's like a feeling that you have.
I do not think it's something that you choose. I think you're born with it. I think that sometimes it takes you a longer time in life to figure out what you really are, what you think you might be, because that's a really big deal. That's something you have to really consider before you change your own life like that, but I think that you're born that way.
No.
Yeah, I think it's with someone.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have. Like
You're born with
you're born
it.
with.
I mean, I think some people are born gay, but other people have their decision, and it's up to the person to choose. But I think it can be given from birth.
I do not think it's chosen. I think it's just how they're born.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that you love who you love. Like that's not really like predetermined or anything.
Are there any challenges you have faced as a member of the LGBT community? If so, how have you overcome them?
Oh yeah, homophobia and transphobia is like a serious thing anywhere and everywhere, I think. I think definitely in the United States it's a lot more accepted than in other countries, but I've been harassed multiple times, just like walking down the street, holding hands with my girlfriend, stuff like that, all the time. Happens like weekly.
Yes, but in terms of like elaborating, I think maybe first telling my parents. My mother more or less had an issue, but I think she was concerned about potential, I would say, negative reactions from people, and maybe not even just people, but I think just society in general. She was, I think, more concerned about being gay would make my life more difficult, and she didn't want that. But everything is, like, my family is very accepting now, but at first I think it was just difficult for her.
Yeah, same with me. I don't think I've ever had anyone outside of my family really make me feel uncomfortable about it. But I would say same thing with Miss Jordan. When I told my family, they had the same reaction. They were afraid of what other people would do or think. But they got over it very quickly. And it wasn't even my entire family. It was mostly my mom. But now, especially now that we're getting married, my family and my mom are very proud of us. We actually got a text recently saying that, from her mom saying that she loved us both and that she's proud of what we're doing. So, yeah. So.
I don't think I've had any challenges. Like, I think we're in a time that everyone's pretty accepting of it, so it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's more like you create your own barriers, because people are way nicer than they were before, so shouldn't be scared to say it.
Currently in the U.S., 14 states allow same-sex marriage and 35 have limitations on it.
However, many religions still don't support it.
Historically, some cultures and religions have killed people for being homosexual.
Most Americans agree that same-sex marriage should be legal, and it looks like our country is going that way in the future.
As a group, we agree that same-sex marriage should be allowed in the U.S.
We think that sexual orientation is something you're born with and figure out throughout your life.